Hello everyone, this is NainaMD. Welcome to my show right here in Beverly Hills. And this is 2017, the start of an amazing year in integrative medicine and spreading the knowledge all about it. Today, I've got a fabulous guest. As you know, in anti-aging regenerative medicine, part of this whole success in keeping yourself young is exercise. But nobody really understands it. You think you do, and it's kind of easy to say, I got to go and exercise, but so much of it is, how are you exercising? What are you doing exactly? And there are so many fitness trainers saying so many different things, and I've got a fabulous expert, and his name is Teodoro Gaetano, and he owns this fabulous company and treats the best celebrities. He's the who's who right here in Beverly Hills. Thank you so much for coming to my show.
Thank you so much, Naina, and thank you so much for the introduction.
And and as you know, fitness is so important. You've done it, but I think a step which the audience will realize from this show is that you've combined it with orthomolecular nutrition, and which is why the collaboration, why we talk so much about all of how anti-aging fits in, because so much of it is really orthomolecular nutrition and fitness.
Absolutely.
So I think it's important for the audience to know, everyone has a fitness trainer, right?
Yes.
Everyone does. I went traveling and I just got back from Dubai, Mumbai, and Delhi. And I was surprised, as part of my whole consulting work takes me to all these different places and all these different people. And as I was talking to almost all these people, almost 90% are training with a fitness trainer, or they've even got someone coming to their home.
Yes.
But when I look at them, they're not in fabulous shape. Many times I hear, why is it that I'm exercising till I'm literally blue in the face and there's no loss of weight? Or I have someone saying, I'm hardly eating anything and exercising so much and hours, maybe up to 2 hours a day, yet there is no weight loss, there's no definition of the body. And I think those are the questions that I want to ask you to educate the audience, that why is this happening?
First and foremost, Doctor, I thank you so much for your introduction. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you. And thank you so much for inviting me. To shed some light on your question, it's because it's not a precise science. Fitness is not mathematics. Although definitely should be, definitely it could be, fitness as a whole phenomenon grew exponentially in the last 20 years, and this growth wasn't necessarily organic. It was more fueled by the corporations who viewed fitness as a big opportunity for growth, and which is amazing because now we have a fitness franchise at every corner. Mm-hmm. This is what's really, really good. So anybody who wants to practice fitness he doesn't even have to leave home. He has his own amenities. You can do fitness anywhere.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And there's a new piece of equipment coming up every hour.
Every second.
Every second.
But at the same time, on the scientific side of things, people stopped researching about fitness or, the physiology of muscle growth up to like 1980s. When I say they stopped, doesn't mean that there's no research currently ongoing. But definitely, people reached a certain status when they thought that we know what's what. We done it. We know everything. We covered everything about fitness. And from this perspective, and this is, what you can say about everything, when you stop being interested and passionate about a subject, you're not staying the same. You're actually regressing a little bit. So the fitness industry, to answer your question more punctually, was great back in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. Mm-hmm. The people who are actually working out, although they were like very few in numbers compared to today, were really knowing what they're doing. Today, as the fitness industry exponentially grow and they've developed itself globally, there are so many fitness practitioners, but they kind of like strayed away from the scientific way of working out, which was, extremely popularized in the 1960s, 1970s by the likes of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
That was purely the scientific peak of the fitness industry. From that moment on, the interests were diverse, and there were not so much work put into fitness research and also into the chemistry of the physiological exercise. But, things are getting better and better. So we're optimistic about that.
So tell me a little bit about why is it that, like for example, someone goes to the doctor and they say, hey, you got high cholesterol, exercise. And
Definitely.
exercise is like, you better do some cardio, do some weights. Okay, that's do some cardio, do some weights. Why are people not still in shape? Why are they? And the thought of usually the doctor is, oh, they're just probably eating like crap, or they're just eating more and more. But is to sustain that kind of a body, to sustain in your elite state. That's really what anti-aging is about. We know that we're becoming even very sort of like unilateral in even how the looks of both female and male should be. We stress muscle. As you know that, Evans wrote, what are the top 10 biomarkers of aging? And one was sarcopenia, loss of muscle mass.
Exactly.
And so if we cannot retain our muscle, we are going to age. And so much of it is emphasized about, well, you know what, my muscle mass is growing, but then their fat mass is also growing. So I guess, how do you figure out what is the right exercise for that right person? What other subject, or what other areas do we need to be more aware of so that we can integrate fitness? And I think that's what the audience needs to get educated. It's not just about the exercise. It's multifaceted, right? It's the exercise with certain other things. So what are those things?
Naina, that's an excellent question. First of all, allow me to say that from an anti-aging perspective, you stressed it extremely accurate. Like, life is a whole balance between anabolism and catabolism.
And anabolism is defined as building up muscle.
Building up muscle, building up, not only muscle but bone tissue. So just the growth of our cells, to be put it in a general way.
And catabolism
is the destruction of those cells, either for creation of energy or because their telomeres shorten and they die naturally. So our life is a balance or a status quo called homeostasis between anabolism and catabolism. So in the first time of our lives, we are extremely anabolic. We just gain cells, gain tissues, build up. Our body is in a constant state of building. But then as we move into our late 40s, the catabolic processes tend to be more proeminent. And first of all, through fitness exercise, you have control of this process. There's nothing more anti-aging than this. You are in control of your own rate in which your body adds up cells. If we would simplify everything, the main benefit of fitness is that it can stop and reverse the natural process of aging.
Yes.
Why is that? Because my body adds up new cells in our tissues every day on a much faster rate. So that's why we should work out. Now, how we should work out effectively,
yes.
That's a different...
$1 million question.
$1
Trillion question.
The thing is this, the science, all the research is there. What nobody could do, and that's why there are so many experts, like a plethora of so many experts saying, and stating somehow, contradictory things, and each expert has his own school of thought when it comes to fitness. And that's because there has never been a regulatory organism to say, this is the most effective and the most scientific way to work out. Let's say we both spend, on average, 1 hour every day in the gym. That's ideal. Some of us more, some of us less, some of us, more often. But what you do in that hour because it's a time investment, okay? You
Yes.
spend 1 hour in the gym. That can be a big, just like, other investments. It can be a bad investment if you work out in a wrong way, so you harm your body. You can harm your body through injuries, doing an exercise, not knowing the proper technique. Or you can just waste that investment by doing something that's not so effective or ineffective at all. Mm-hmm. And as you pointed out, indeed, there are a lot of people that are working out. And I don't want to badmouth the fitness industry and their professionals, because the professional in the fitness industry are getting better and better and better. Mm-hmm. If you compare like the percentage of the personal trainers who had athletic performances in the past with them now we have a lot of athletes. Now we have, I would say, veterans that go into the fitness industry. So fitness industry today has amazing people and amazing personalities. But at the same time, it's a place for everyone. Mm-hmm. So not going like, let's say you are a doctor, you go to a medical school, you learn the curricula, you know exactly what the borders of your practice are, and you do exactly what you learn. There's no such mecca of fitness education in the world now. So people, appeal to formal, informal education means, so they, become very knowledgeable on the field. At the same time, it pains me to say that I've seen fitness professionals charging, $80, $100 per hour, having their clients, just throw a ball on the floor or doing exercises that are so ineffective. When it comes to efficiency, when you spend 1 hour in the gym, you want to do the exercises that tore down most muscle fibers, because that's what fitness training is basically a repair of the muscle fibers. Right. Do this in a way so there are several parameters. There's training volume, intensity, and frequency. If all these are balanced and you have the intensity, that's a fitness professional's part, a trainer's part, is to supervise, to teach you and to supervise these parameters, to see that you know the proper technique, because most effective exercises are not executed, are not made on machines. The machine has been made specifically for the purpose of working with injured people. So you are injured, you cannot move because you have, any medical affection. You just sit and you isolate the muscle group just doing an exercise. But that's not the way. We have 650 skeletal muscles for a reason, to use them all.
Those must be exercised. All of them need to be exercised.
Yes, not specifically, not sparingly. We have to work with all our muscles. And we work with all our muscles when we use the simple old school body weight and added increased resistance exercises. In other simple words, when you use weights and your body weight is when your body is the most effective.
So that's a really critical part of really building up muscle, which is to prevention of sarcopenia. This is an amazing conversation. We're here. What is your website?
It's www.gaetano, that's Gaetano, fitness.com.
Fabulous. We're going to be right back with more of this and what orthomolecular nutrition. Keep that in mind. NainaMD Beverly Hills, fusion of science and beauty. We'll be right back, you guys. Hello everyone, welcome back to my show, NainaMD Beverly Hills, fusion of science and beauty. And I've got a fabulous guest, the most amazing fitness trainer, Teodoro Gaetano, and he's talking about fitness, correct?
Absolutely.
We left off just before the commercial break about, how you really get fit is the intensity. You control the intensity, the frequency, right? And
the volume.
And it's all, that's what the trainer really needs to know and to keep in order for us we wear and tear the muscles. So having said that, let's say we start working with the resistance and our own body weight and with weights. We build that muscle. What is the importance of cardio? And what is the importance of also some of the other things of having nutritional, right? Because if we tear the muscles, then we've got to have enough amino acids, right?
Absolutely.
To be able to supply. We can't just go and have a Big Mac, which a lot of people, by the way, they exercise in the first thing, and I witnessed to this because my girlfriends tell me, let's go out for a latte, a coffee latte. I don't drink coffee,
which has
right?
800
or a frappuccino or whatever, and that's right after we just did like a 800 calorie workout. So can you explain? Makes sense, right?
Fitness exercise should be simple, should be effective. Yet people kind of like stray away from the easiest way to do and the most effective way to do things. Eating a high calorie meal or having a high calorie diet is definitely counterproductive to health, not only to fitness goals. On the other side, today's fitness nutrition, it's focusing more on calories like dietetics and on macros. What are your macros? You know, everybody asks, what are your macros? Oh, I'm having 25% protein, 50% carbs from either, I don't know, low glycemic load,
right,
and the rest are some fats, which is great, but that's not all to it. That's not all to nutrition. And as you pointed out, the macros are much more important than the macros.
Absolutely.
Because the macros, the calories, what are the calories? Okay, let's say both of us eat 800 calories, okay, like you said. But do we actually metabolize 800 calories? Is a calorie really a calorie? Because a calorie, my body can be so affected at metabolizing some type of, foods much better than your body can. So from 800 calories of, let's say, oats, I can metabolize the exact percentage of, sugar from them. But you, because your digestion is different, because our bodies are totally different, can have like 60% of that or 40% of that. So a calorie, that's why dietetics is mostly a lie, just like statistics. Statistics is a lie too. If I have 6 cars and you have no cars, then on average we have 3 cars.
I was a statistician. And I have a master's in math, so I know how that goes. I know how
dietetics is kind of the same because people are so hanged up on counting calories and macros.
Yeah.
But we don't have the same. A calorie or calories are just a potential of energy. But we have such different metabolisms from person to person that some calories, some types of food, you might digest in a certain way and I might digest them in a totally different way. From the same 800 calories, I can have 700 calories because digestion also burns out calories, so the so-called negative calories, while you can have 400 calories because your digestive process might be slower. Or a person who's elderly might have 200 calories.
Because their hormones may not be balanced.
Exactly.
So in other words, I think that's what people need to realize is that we need to look at what orthomolecular nutrition really defines, right?
Exactly. Orthomolecular nutrition, it's a term that's been fathered by Linus Pauling, a gentleman who's American, born in Oregon, just born at the borderline of the 20th century, 1901, who was, I would say, the Albert Einstein of modern chemistry, biology. He fathered molecular biology, he fathered orthomolecular medicine, and not only but the quantum chemistry is also a term that he fathered. So people weren't aware of any of this field because this gentleman, who was the only gentleman who took 2 unshared Nobel Prizes, made so much research on the subject that he opened up new paths of research for everybody else in the field. And orthomolecular, it's a very easy term. It comes from orthos, which is Greek for the right, and molecular, which are the smallest constituents of our bodies. So it's a medicine that stresses upon treating the body or preventing any diseases using the right molecules. or the molecules that are already in my body, which are amino acids, essential fatty acids, which are enzymes, hormones, vitamins, and minerals. So according to Linus Pauling, Abraham Hoffer, Patrick Holford, and the gentleman who fathered this institution of orthomolecular medicine, we should treat our body with molecules that are already present in it to restore the body's own healing mechanism, which according to this gentleman is the strongest way of fortifying and healing the body. It's like you just press an auto-healing button.
Yeah, and I think that's where we look at nutritional deficiencies. We can start looking.
Exactly.
We can start, and that's what got separated in medicine.
Linus Pauling was saying that all diseases,
Yeah.
every disease out there in the world, comes from a mineral deficiency. And if you think about it, it's quite logical. What are we?
Yeah.
We are bags of water who have minerals that react and produce electricity.
That's what, in biochemistry, in chemistry, if you look at the chart, it's all minerals, right? You have the zinc and all these are all minerals which have a certain ions, they have a certain, chemistry table,
ridiculous
periodic
dietary
tables,
allowances.
right? Yeah. Yeah.
So if you think about it, athletic capacity, physical capacity, all sums down to how much electricity can my body produce. And it's funny that, the fitness enthusiasts, the fitness practitioners, the athletes.
Well, even the doctors, we don't understand nutrition like we should in conventional medicine. We just don't.
But that's an increasing trend.
Yes.
A lot of doctors nowadays, although they don't get that from their formal practice, get to be self-taught.
That's what we did. We went into integrative medicine. We start looking into other places to educate ourselves. Absolutely.
So coming back to what I'm saying, it was funny for me to say that all the research and performance athletics was focused on macros, but nobody was shifting their focus toward the micros. Because if I have the right minerals in my body in large enough doses, my body simply can produce more electricity at a cellular level. And when it comes to having your macros, you have to have your macros. You have to eat from clean sources. You have to eat balanced throughout the day, not like one single meal in the evening, like standard American diet, and a lot of junk food during the day, and coffee, and so on and so forth. But what's really extremely enthusiastic is that only if you take the right amount of the right minerals, you can disease-proof your body, you can increase your physical and athletic performance, and why not your physical appearance, just by taking some minerals that we were supposed to be taking, but because the soil, which feeds the plants, which feeds the animals, which somewhere along the line we eat something, what we eat, they are mineral deficient.
Yeah.
So that's why all this food chain gets permeated. And we have the free will, and we can exercise that so we can supplement with the right type of minerals. And just by taking right type of minerals, also vitamins, also enzymes, also balancing your hormones.
You can measure, for example, telomere. Well, this is one of the theories of
Absolutely.
aging, is that the telomeres shorten. This is that telomeres are located on the DNA strands. And as you age, they shorten, and that's really what causes a lot more of the mutations.
And
so
also,
if you can, scientifically we can measure those. And we've actually shown that with a regimen that you stick to, when you balance all this, your telomeres can actually lengthen. So
aging,
something we can prove.
It's also the length of the telomeres, but those telomeres shorten. Every day I am deficient in a mineral or a vitamin or an essential fatty acid or an amino acid or in a hormone which regulates the whole metabolism. It causes an irreplaceable, irreversible decaying and shortening of the telomeres. So yes, we cannot stop yet, according to the current research, the shortening of the telomeres. Although there are institutions like the Immortality Institute in London who study that. So people actually will have a chance to become immortal. Somehow soon, we hope.
Yes.
That will be amazing. That will be amazing. There's a lot of research in that field currently going on. But up until then, we know for sure that the telomere shorten. what we can do by eating a bright, balanced diet rich in mega vitamins, mega minerals, like Linus Pauling was saying, because most of the research with vitamins and minerals is done in very low doses.
Yeah. You can actually take larger quantities.
The ridiculously dietary allowances, or the RDA, is just like statistics. It doesn't mean that if we eat 60 milligrams of vitamin C or ascorbic acid, we won't see scurvy in this country. That's not what vitamins should be about. Vitamins should be about enabling us to have the best life ever, to be extremely healthy, to have athletic performance, to have physical performance, mental capacity, so on and so forth. Yeah. So, minimum nutrition and optimum nutrition, or, above huge. Optimum nutrition, it's a whole difference.
And the RDA values have not even been retested on the foods for almost 40 years. And so much has happened. We're genetically modifying foods. We're doing so much. Why are we not testing? Because I have a feeling if we were to retest the RDA values, there would not be as much nutrition in terms of the nutritions and minerals and vitamins and nutraceuticals, all those things we talk about.
Definitely.
So, I can't even believe this. We're up. This is really, I want to tell the audience, this is going to be the start of a series, because we're very much into exercise, orthomolecular nutrition, and we're going to be doing a collaboration where we're really going to educate you. There's so much exciting information to come. Please stay tuned. Your website, please tell the audience one more time.
www.gaetanofitness.com.
And you can hit me up at NainaMD. That's www.NaianMD.com. And I'll be glad to give you information on really how a great fitness and program can work combined with orthomolecular nutrition. We are even in the realm now where the science has gone, where you can test for nutritional deficiencies which are inside your cells. What's in the serum is very different than what the nutritional deficiencies may be inside the cells. Also, we can do even DNA testing, some genomic, certain mutations where it can help guide us where, okay, this person's maybe, their insulin receptors may not be as sensitive, they're prone to that, so it's really important to do a low glycemic index diet and so forth. We're going to be telling you about diets. We're going to be telling you about all different kinds of diets. You hear about Ornish diet, the low glycemic diet versus a low glycemic index diet. I mean, there's so much of information you don't understand, and there's so much coming at people all day long. Hopefully, our goal is to identify and help clarify that.
And it will be our pleasure.
It'll be our pleasure. So thank you so much for being on the show, for listening to my show. Thank you for being on my show.
Doctor.
And more to come. And this is NainaMD, Beverly Hills, right here, Fusion of Science and Beauty. We'll be back next week with another great show.